So the multiplayer for Crysis 2 is good, but has some serious flaws. I've enjoyed every single minute that I played with the game in multiplayer, but it's definitely the weaker of the two game modes between campaign and the multiplayer section. I'm going to go over again the good and the bad, starting with the bad because the bad does far outweigh the good, and hopefully a lot of my concerns in this video have been addressed in Crysis 3, especially with the beta releasing tomorrow. So for the bad, the multiplayer in Crysis 2 is pretty laggy, and the game does a really poor job of selecting hosts. You'll oftentimes be playing and then realize, if you press, well, I play on Xbox, I press the back button and see that the host is running with full bars and everyone else is on 2 or 1. And why did the game select this person as the host? And the game sometimes is just straight up laggy no matter how good your connection is. And you mostly see this because the hit detection on both ends is just so poor sometimes. You'll have a guy in your sights and shoot at them multiple times, and about a third of your bullets will get hit markers. Meanwhile, on the other side, you'll have full health just walking somewhere, looking for an objective or what have you, and then suddenly die. I don't know why this happens so frequently, and it's really annoying to go from full health to 0 health, and then to watch the kill cams, which are just terrible. I know the Halo 4 kill cams are really bad, but they are far worse in Crysis 2, because you'll watch the kill cam and see that you got one-shotted with an assault rifle, which is really impossible to do, especially given certain circumstances, like you're in armor mode. But the kill cam will say you died in one shot. Also, the controls don't feel tight enough. They work in the single player, but having just played a ton of Halo 4, jumping into Crysis 2 feels like I'm playing on about 50 sensitivity. They're just too loose. It doesn't feel quite right. I've played a bunch of Crysis 2, so it's not that I haven't played the game enough. The controls just don't feel right compared to other first-person shooters. Now, a lot of that is because of the speed of the game, but that can be adjusted, because aiming just doesn't quite feel right. It's really hard to explain. 2 DLC map packs were released for Crysis 2. They didn't add any new achievements. They didn't add any new challenges for maps or anything like that, and they're in their own separate playlists, so therefore, nobody plays them. Other games put the DLC maps into regular map rotation. Crysis 2 and Crytek did not do that. Because they did that, I've actually bought both map packs and have never played a single match on any of them, because there's just nobody in those playlists. In Crysis 2, it takes way too long to level up, and the challenges in your operative status menu don't dish out enough XP. After about 24 hours or so, I'm only about a level 32, and I know my hour count isn't exactly correct, but in the time that I've played with Crysis 2, I probably could have prestiged in any Call of Duty. Well, not Call of Duty 4. And there wasn't enough post-launch support from Crytek. It appears that just a couple months after the launch of Crysis 2, EA put Crytek on Crysis 3. And it shows because the game is almost ready to ship, and it's only about 2.5 weeks away. The biggest problem and greatest flaw, which is actually the most petty, but hear me out, the menu music. The menu music for Crysis 2 is amazing. It was written by Hans Zimmer. The guy's pretty damn good. But it loops over itself sometimes. So you'll hear the theme low, and then you'll also hear the theme then kicking above, and it is super loud. It'll be the loudest thing you've heard. You can't hear yourself think. If you're in a party with other people, you can't hear them either. This was just a weird thing that got included with the game that I'm surprised they didn't even take 1 second to fix, because I know I'm not the only person who experienced this. It was just built into the game. On the good side, we have the dog tags. You kill somebody in multiplayer, they drop a dog tag. You pick up the dog tag, it works towards the kill streaks. Pretty simple. There is an armor ability that will pick up the dog tags for you, but not everyone uses it. So camping doesn't really happen too much. Not only that, but the kill streaks that you can earn from picking up the dog tags change from map to map. Unless you're playing the same map over and over again, like Skyline, which for some reason everybody loves to play, which I hate, by the way. The kill streaks are never the same from one map to the next. Also, it's really fun to use the nanosuit, especially with other players. Running around the map, stealth, cloaking, taking guys out that way is really fun to do, especially along the really bigger maps where getting around is so fluid because the nanosuit offers you so many routes and options to go through the nooks and crannies of the maps. And perhaps one of the best things about Crysis 2 are the skill kills. The game offers up a wide variety of ways to take out your enemies. Double kills, triple kills, stealth kills, kicking a taxi into somebody, air stomp. All these things are really fun to do, and it's really rewarding and feels great to accomplish them. My personal favorite is kicking a car into somebody. You can't do it on every map, but when you do, it's amazing. So Crysis 2, as I've covered, was not a perfect game. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the best games of 2011, one of my favorites. The multiplayer was overshadowed by the campaign. There are still some people playing it, but it has not received the love that it should have. Hopefully, Crysis 3 will get the long lifespan that it deserves. The beta comes out tomorrow. I'll be posting videos, giving you my thoughts. See you guys out there.